Welcome back, football fans. Big news and big performances from Barcelona. With Robert Lewandowski nearing the end of his journey at the Camp Nou, the Catalans are already searching for his replacement, and Juventus star DUŠAN VLAHOVIC is firmly on the radar. At the same time, Marcus Rashford lit up St. James' Park with a Champions League brace, silencing the doubters and showing exactly why Barça trusted him on loan. From HANSI Flick's reaction to Lamine Yamal's support on social media, and even Anthony Gordon's surprising admission after facing Barça, we've got all the updates right here. Let's dive in. Barcelona will likely be faced with the task of replacing Robert Lewandowski next summer, with no guarantees they will be able to spend big in the process. Already the Blaugrana are behind on their projected budgets for the season, with delays on their return to Camp Nou impacting their income. It looks increasingly likely that this will be Robert Lewandowski's final season at Barcelona. The 37-year-old striker is now in the last year of his contract, and although still competing with Ferran Torres for game time, the club lacks a true out-and-out number 9 to succeed him. With that in mind, Barcelona are once again being linked with Juventus forward DUŠAN VLAHOVIC. According to reports from Gazzetta dello Sport via Sport, the Catalans are among several top European clubs keeping close tabs on the Serbian situation. Vlahovic's deal with Juventus runs out next summer, just as he turns 26. His priority is said to be a move to the Premier League, but his wage demands, around €10 million net per season, would place him among Barcelona's highest earners. The Blaugrana have shown interest in him before, and he could resurface as a serious option for next year. Atletico Madrid and Manchester United in the frame. Manchester United are also cited as another of those sides, but have spent big on Benjamin Sesko this summer. On the other hand, Atletico Madrid, who were linked with Vlahovic this summer, are another alternative. Los Rojiblancos would also make sense as a move for Vlahovic, with Alexander Sorloth yet to convince at the Metropolitano as the de facto number 9. If Atletico are keen to partner Julian Alvarez with someone, then Vlahovic could be an option, although they are unlikely to meet those wage demands. This season Vlahovic has started off well, scoring 4 times and giving 1 assist in his 4 appearances. Barcelona star Lamine Yamal has taken to social media to provide his response to the man-of-the-match performance produced by teammate and attacking partner in crime Marcus Rashford. This, of course, comes fresh off the Englishman exploding into life in Blaugrana colors. Barcelona marked their return to action a short time ago, making the trip to St. James' Park to face Newcastle United in the club's Champions League season opener. And when all was said and done on Tyneside, it was the aforementioned Rashford who proved himself difference-maker. On a night to remember for the on-loan Manchester United man, Rashford opened the scoring courtesy of a fine header, before also notching Barca's decisive second through a stunning strike from distance. As much proved enough to guide HANSI Flick's troops to the right side of a 2-1 result. And as alluded to above, quick to provide his reaction to such brilliance was Blaugrana teammate Lamine Yamal. Absent on Thursday through injury, wideman Lamine took to his official Instagram account to unveil the following post. Barcelona manager HANSI Flick saw his team beat Newcastle 2-1 on Thursday, and Barcelona kicked off their Champions League campaign with a vital win, led by a brilliant brace from Loni Marcus Rashford. Manager HANSI Flick was delighted to leave St. James' Park with all 3 points, but he also admitted that his team made too many errors during the clash with the Premier League side. It's very important to start with these 3 points here. The team was fantastic today, he told Movie Star. We had told the team that it was important to keep a clean sheet in the first 15 minutes. For me, the entire game went very well. Even after those 15 minutes in the first half, we had 64% possession. That was very positive. Maybe we've made too many mistakes, but I'm very happy. Flick also spoke about Rashford's contribution after seeing the England star score a header and then smash an unstoppable strike past Nick Pope in the Newcastle goal. A goal is a goal. I have to rewatch both goals. The second one was probably better. The important thing is for him to gain confidence. We're helping him. The second one is very good. I'm not surprised because he scores them in training, he said. With Pedri and Frenkie, it's not easy to put pressure on us. I think they both played a very good game today. I'm happy that they're playing with that confidence on this pitch. We're a very young team. What I can see is that the team is playing with confidence, and that's very important. The win makes it a great start to the Champions League campaign for Barcelona and a huge confidence boost for Rashford as he opens his account in style for the Catalans. Anthony Gordon believes Barcelona are a level above both Arsenal and Liverpool following Newcastle United's 2-1 defeat in the Champions League on Thursday night. 2 excellent goals in the second half from Marcus Rashford gave Barcelona the lead at St. James' Park before Gordon set up a tense finish by pulling one back for Newcastle in the 90th minute. Barcelona, however, continued to show their class on the ball and barely gave Newcastle another opportunity to rescue a draw before the full-time whistle. "I think in ways the way they keep the ball was a learning experience," Gordon told beIN Sports after his side's defeat. When the interviewer said he could not imagine an opposing team keeping the ball for almost the entirety of injury time at St. James' Park after Newcastle scored their goal, Gordon replied, "No, neither do I. We've played against some top teams, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, but the way they passed the ball, the midfielders, the way they were fluid in their movement and combining, made it really hard for us to press, and it's not easy coming here and doing that. We press with intensity, we're very physical, but to be fair to them, they did really well." When asked about Marcus Rashford's display against Newcastle, Anthony Gordon praised the forward, calling his performance really good. Gordon explained that Rashford had been through a tough spell over the past year but was glad to see him back in form. He added that as a footballer, tough times can feel very lonely, but Rashford has clearly worked hard, and even during their last England camp together, he seemed in good spirits. Describing him as a good lad, very humble and a top player, Gordon insisted that when Rashford is at his best, he's among the finest in the world. "Two brilliant goals at St. James' Park," Gordon said, "were proof of that." Barcelona's Champions League journey began on Thursday night in one of the most intimidating venues in football, St. James' Park. The clash with Newcastle saw the Catalans face not just intensity on the pitch, but also the fiery atmosphere in the stands, with the hosts making life difficult for the opening half-hour. Once they began assuming control, however, the visitors began creating more chances and ultimately opened the scoring through a Marcus Rashford header in the second half. The Englishman soon doubled the team's lead and sealed the result on the night. The hosts pulled one back in the penultimate minute of regular time, setting up an interesting finish but could not eventually find the equalizer. Barça Universal brings you the player ratings from Newcastle United 1-2 Barcelona. Joan Garcia, 9. The Spaniard was at the center of the action for Barcelona against the English opposition and was regularly called into action as Newcastle constantly looked for openings on the counter. Made a massive save to deny the hosts twice on the night, including a massive 1v1 save against Harvey Barnes. Gerard Martin, 7.5. Martin was tasked primarily with a defensive responsibility on the night and thus roamed relatively deep in the field looking to control Anthony Elanga. However, he had his work cut out for him as the winger's pace often got the better of him, leaving him chasing on the counterattacks. Pau Cubarsí, 8. The youngster was composed and critical in helping Barcelona play out of difficult pressure situations, especially when the hosts were pressing high up. Defensively did not make any errors and was clean with his distribution, although he did not look for too many long balls on the night. Ronald Araujo, 8. The Uruguayan was the surprise inclusion in HANSI Flick's starting 11, presumably to counter Newcastle's aerial threat. Did well to curb the hosts in that respect and showed reasonable coordination on the offside trap as well. Had a busy night holding off Anthony Gordon and was constantly pressurized by the Newcastle forwards in the hope of a slip-up. Jules Kounde, 8.5. The right back was defensively solid but occasionally caught on the counter by Barnes. Pushed forward to overlap with the winger and add weight to Barcelona's right wing as well. Provided a sumptuous assist for Rashford's opener just before the hour mark with a ball that landed beautifully for the Englishman's header. Pedri, 8.5. Pedri was the epicenter target of Newcastle's coordinated press but rarely ever looked in trouble holding on to the ball. He was relatively restricted in the opening half-hour but then went on to open his wings and dictate the game more openly for the Catalans. It is no coincidence that Barcelona's best moments only came after the player began dominating. Frenkie de Jong, 8. Frenkie de Jong's press resistance was crucial at St. James' Park as the Dutchman was often caught in high-pressure situations in midfield that he managed to wriggle out of and continue the build-up. Did decently in defense too and was excellent with his overall distribution, although he did not seemingly attempt too many ambitious line-breaking passes. Fermin Lopez, 6.5. After a man-of-the-match performance in his previous game, Fermin looked lost at St. James' Park as he simply did not find much space between Newcastle's compact lines. The youngster disappeared for large tracks in the first half and failed to create any threat in the opposition box, something uncharacteristic for a player of his profile. Marcus Rashford, 9.5. The Englishman looked sharp on the night and constantly tried to create a threat down the left flank. Created some good attacking openings with his pace and even had a half chance early in the game but could not find his finishing boots. Scored a stunning header to give his side the lead, scoring his first official goal for the club. Rashford's night only got better as he went on to score a banger from outside the box in the 66th minute to double the lead, announcing his arrival on the big stage. Rafinha, 8.5. The UEFA Champions League top scorer of last season started in place of the injured Lamine Yamal on the left wing and was in his element barring some uncharacteristically sloppy passes. Was the team's pioneering force in the final third, always looking for an attacking opening, but his relatively direct style of football found it hard to create openings between the tight lines. Robert Lewandowski, 6.5. The Polish striker started the game slowly but began growing into it late in the first half when he made some positive movements and attempts on goal from tight positions. So, Barcelona fans, what a night in Europe and what a big future decision ahead. Rashford is already proving himself in Blaugrana colors, Yamal is backing his teammate, and HANSI Flick is building something very special with this young squad. But looking forward, who should Barcelona turn to when Lewandowski eventually leaves? Dušan Vlahovic, or maybe another rising star? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for all the latest Barcelona news. Until next time, Visca Barça.